Hi, my name is Raul Rabadan. I'm a professor in systems biology at the University of Columbia in New York. My work is looking at genomes, looking at the structure, the information of different organisms in humans and also in viruses. So I'm the author of a book, Understanding Coronavirus, by Cambridge University Press. Understanding Coronavirus is a book about the knowledge that we have about coronaviruses. We have coronaviruses that have been circulating in humans for some time. We have coronaviruses that have created outbreaks, like the coronavirus in 2002, 2003, that created the SARS outbreak. And we know many things about pandemics. This is not the first pandemic that we had. I mean, we have pandemics on flu in 2009 and before in the previous century. So we have learned many things. And all this knowledge, can provide a way of direct and understand what's going on. The events are accumulating very fast. The news are also very confusing sometimes. And what I've tried to do in this book is just to provide to the lay audience, not to the expert, but to the lay audience, with some of this knowledge in kind of a way that everyone can understand. So what is SARS, what are different coronaviruses, how coronaviruses are evolving, how this is related to flu and other viruses that have created pandemics in the past. Well, I think it's a normal anxiety. This is what is happening with some events, that they are moving very fast, that they are changing our life, our lifestyle, our economy, and probably they have also political implications. So all these things, they are mixed. And I think it's very important to understand what the science have learned before this outbreak and what are we learning here in the current outbreak. So in this book, what I've been trying to do is explain in a lay language some of the science that now has been done. The book is based only on scientific papers that I consider they have some merit. And I've been trying to explain the different things, what we know and before this pandemic and what we know now, and the things that we don't know. Also, I think it's important to calm the anxiety, to know exactly what we know and we don't know. So it's just trying to calm the situation and to give the people in general a way of thinking, kind of a reference point where we can just start thinking about different aspects, about the epidemiology of the disease, about different viruses that are around, and also about the future. Is there other viruses that can be doing something similar in the future, and how we can deal with this situation now and probably in the future. This coronavirus outbreak that we have right now, starting in 2019 and going now in 2020, has some things that are in common with other coronaviruses, like the SARS outbreak in 2002, 2003, but the other things that they are very different. They also share some of the things with some of the pandemics in the past, some of the flu pandemics that we lived, but they are also very different. So in the book, I explain how these viruses, they are different, how these outbreaks are different, and how we can compare, and there are things that are comparable and there are things that are not comparable. There are things, for example, about seasonal flu or pandemic flu that I don't think they are valid metaphors of how to think about this one. There are other aspects, epidemiological aspects, that can be very informative. So I think it's important if we are going to do a comparison of the different events that we had in the past. This is the only way that we have to understand the present, is by looking at the experience in the past, is to understand how much of this information is useful and how much of this information could be confusing. There are several aspects that I think will be surprising. The surprising, it depends on the knowledge of the reader. And now there's a lot of information. But I think the reader will be surprised to learn that there are many things that we know, that there are many parallels that we can see between this outbreak and the outbreak in 2002, 2003. And that this previous experience can be very, very helpful to conceptualize, to understand what is going on. So there are many things. There are many things about people are asking about how this virus is evolving. Is this evolution going to preclude to have an effective vaccine? We know many things about these things. We know how these viruses evolve. We know many things about how these viruses emerge. There are many things that we don't know, and I explain in the book how is our current knowledge. I mean, but there are many things that we know, and I think it's very kind of gratifying to learn the previous experiences and how this can inform the current situation. And there are many things about epidemiology. I mean, people are saying, well, I mean, do these measures of containment and quarantine, do they work? I mean, well, I mean, we have quarantine since the Middle Ages, and we have a lot of experiences, not with these particular viruses, but with many others. And I think this experience is very, very helpful. I mean, this experience is what I have determined to take some measures, and we can learn from these experiences. Well, the current prospects for vaccine and treatments, they are moving very fast. At the moment, when we are recording, we don't have a very effective treatment for the disease. Doctors, they are learning how to treat patients with this disease in a practical base, but we don't have treatments at the moment, neither therapeutics, neither, I mean, viral therapies or vaccines. The progress is moving very fast, and there are many ideas. Many of these ideas were born from previous experience. As I was mentioned, there was a very similar virus to this one, the one that caused the outbreak of SARS in 2002, 2003. And there are many things that we know about these viruses that we learned in the past. The previous virus, the SARS virus, disappeared basically in July of 2003. And there was a lot of research that stopped, or there was not moving at a very, very fast speed that we have right now. So, but we learned many things from there. And I think many of the therapies that we are trying, they are inspired, or they are variations of the things that we have in the past. So there are tons of clinical trials. There are clinical trials that are moving forward in vaccines. We don't know what is going to be the future here, but I'm very optimistic. I think we have a very engaged scientific community